What time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. Hello and welcome to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. My name is Melissa Hemming, and if a life coach and a therapist had a baby, you would get me. I wanted to come and talk today because I get a lot of questions about fundraising. I get it. A lot of runners are curious to know how it works, how I do it, sort of the ins and outs of fundraising for anything, but particularly world major marathons. So we're just going to jump on in. As usual, all the links are in the show notes in case you need anything from Shackley. They have so many different products. I use their pre-workout, their hydrate, their shakes. I was using their skincare. I had to take a break because I have something going on with my face that has nothing to do with their skincare, but I just took a break from all products. And also, if you want to try my drug drinks that I love, or you're interested in joining the club, which I think I'm going to rebrand to be the Positive Pickle Club of 2026, which is just journaling and ongoing mental health care. And I also have one-on-one sessions available starting in January. There's different packages. I have a 3-session package, I have a 6-session package, and I have a 12-session package. And I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. So let's talk though. So all those links are in the show notes, and we're just going to go from there. I also got a question the other day about if I'm having any groups in January, and it still blows my mind that people don't know that I don't run groups anymore. But I love you all for asking. I don't do any workouts anymore. I just do all mental health stuff and life coaching stuff. So that is how you can join me. But I always and forever will offer my Zoom link for accountability. So if you are somebody who's working out at home and you are struggling with accountability, that is always here for you. So just shoot me a message. I'll share my Zoom link. We use it every single day. There's usually someone on as early as 4:30, and usually it's hopping until 8 a.m. ish. But even ongoing in the day, people will say in our message thread, hey, I'm looking for some accountability if anybody can hop on. And if I'm here at my computer and I'm not in a session, I will hop on Zoom too and support anyone. So that is always an option if you need some accountability that way. Okay, so let's talk about fundraising. So I have been fundraising. So my Tokyo Marathon is my 5th world major. And, I have done a shit ton of fundraising for my world major marathon journey at this point. So I think how is running fundraising different than regular fundraising? I want to talk about that first of all, because I think some people don't understand how this works. So let's say I'm going to bring up MS because I fundraise a lot for MS. Like, let's talk about, there's an MS walk that I've been a part of with my friend Brooke for a couple of years now. I think this year coming up will be my 3rd year. When you sign up for something like that, they will usually give you a fundraising goal, right? Let's say, and it's usually, I think it was $100 to earn the orange t-shirt, which of course I became obsessed with because anytime you dangle something silly, I want to earn it. But you don't have to run. You don't have to raise the $100. If you raise it, you're going to get your t-shirt and they're going to give you a little clap, but you don't have to raise it. The difference between fundraising for a world major marathon is that you are committing in a blood oath. I'm just kidding about the blood, but it really is a contract. You are committing to raising X amount of dollars for that charity. So my fundraising journey for my world major started with Boston 2023 and the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. So when I signed up with Hole in the Wall Gang Camp for a fundraising spot on their 2023 team, I committed to raising. I'm gonna just say $8,500. I'm almost positive that's what it was. That was definitely what it was for 2023. I forgot. 2020 is when I started. So when I committed to Hole in the Wall Gang Camp to raise $8,500 for a spot on their Boston Marathon team for 2020, I am saying that no matter who decides to give me money, whoever decides to click my link and donate some money, I am going to be paying that money. So that's where the difference is between typical fundraising. Like I had signed up lots of times in my life for different walks or different, fundraising things. And again, that money that you raise is sort of optional. You can work your ass off to raise that money. But when you sign up with a charity for running a marathon or a half marathon, you are committing to that amount of money. So that come race day or whenever they say that it's due, it's coming out of your bank account or it's coming out of the work that you've done to collect that money from other people. So there is a level of urgency to it, right? Like you don't want to be paying that money, so you need to commit to that goal. Now, some people say to me, like, I do want to fundraise. Like, what do you suggest or what do you recommend? From a mindset perspective, you have to literally tell yourself, I might make people annoyed with me. I might have to post every day to make sure that my goal is met. Also, a lot of times, and I think that part of the reason I've been so successful with fundraising is that I already had an online business before I ever started fundraising. So I'm used to being in people's faces. I'm used to not giving a shit if people are annoyed. I'm very used to having to say, like, if you're sick of my face, if you're sick of my post, if you're sick of my presence, if you're sick of my voice, block me, unfollow me, delete me, don't listen to me. I'm not going to own someone else's feelings about what I'm saying because I know that, first of all, I have this massive goal of running these marathons. There are tons of people who support what I'm doing. I don't need the people who don't support me to be there for it. And I don't give a shit. I'm going to let them decide what's right for them. So I think right out the gate, I already have that mindset. I know what it takes. When I started running an online business years ago, one thing I learned very early on is that even if, just like I said, I don't know how people don't know I don't run workout groups anymore. But guess what? I haven't run workout groups in years and people still ask me for that. So you have to know that even if you're posting every day about your workout group, about your fundraising link, about your online business, I think it's like only 1% of people see that one post. That's why you have to continuously talk about what you're doing. And it's why every time someone says to me, I didn't know that you don't do workout groups anymore. I didn't know you didn't do body anymore. I'm like, shit. If people that see my shit often don't know what I'm doing, I'm not saying it enough. So there's that. So there's a huge mindset piece. You have to literally say, I am taking on, especially if you're taking on fundraising like Boston, that's going to be a shit ton of money. So you have to be like, all right, I am in this. Either I'm okay with taking it out of my bank account if I don't succeed, or if you're not okay with that, then you have to be like, come hell or high water, I'm raising this money and I don't care what people think. Let them own their feelings about what you're doing on social media. So, okay, so then 2020 was kind of a wash because I think that I don't remember when the money was due. I don't remember how much fundraising I had done, but then it all stopped, with COVID and we didn't have to meet our goals. I think I had raised a significant amount of money. I'm just not even sure where I was at that time. Now, I learned a lot from fundraising that year. In 2020, I was a baby. Newbie baby to fundraising for a world major like that. And I did a lot of failing. One of my biggest failures, oh my God, I still can feel like the butterflies in my stomach, like the not good butterflies. I had put out on Facebook, I said, who would come to a roller skating fundraiser? I love roller skating at Run Roll. My family loves roller skating at Run Roll. At the time, we went a couple times a year and I got a great response. A lot of people were like, I'd be in, I'd be down, I'd be there. And I booked a fundraiser at Run Roll and I think I ended up losing $300. Like all said and done, the money that I had to put out to sort of book, I don't remember all the details and the logistics about it. I just remember feeling like a big fat failure that night, the day after. I was so discouraged and disappointed because The people who said they were going to show up didn't show up. Some people showed up. Some people showed up and I love them for it. But a lot of people didn't. And you know what? It's okay. I have developed a level of thick skin about who shows up and who doesn't and what that means about my worth. It means nothing. Absolutely nothing. But again, you have to have a thick skin about this shit if you're fundraising. And you also, that one thing that I learned from that Honor Roll fundraiser is don't put out your money. Don't watch what you're doing to bring money in and don't lose any money. So if there's something that you have an idea about, but there's money that you have to put in, or you have to have a certain amount of people there to make it even, just make sure that you're not going to lose money on it. And that's been my biggest lesson from that experience at Honor Roll. I will never, ever be in a situation where I'm potentially losing money to fundraising again. Yeah. So that's what I took from that experience. So moving forward, so that stopped in 2020, and then I didn't fundraise again until 2023. And 2023 was a huge fundraising year for me. I did Boston for Hole in the Wall Game Camp, $8,500 for April 2023. And then I took on New York City Marathon with Hole in the Wall Game Camp again, and that was $3,500. So $3,500 plus $8,500 is what, $12,000? So $12,000 I raised or fundraised in 2023. And that was a huge year for me. It's exhausting. Fundraising is also exhausting. So you have to be okay with being sick of yourself, because oftentimes I was sick of myself. It was also crazy in 2023 too, because I was still doing an online business, right? I've been doing an online business ever since 2016. So for me, it was, you're going to be sick of yourself fundraising. You're also going to be trying to, elicit money from people because you're selling online. It feels like you're out there a lot, and it feels yucky. You have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that if you're going to fundraise successfully, or have a good sponsor who will match a donation, or again, be okay with it coming out of your pocket. So what I did to raise the money in 2023. Now, this is sort of what makes being a Connecticut resident different than the rest of the population. So in Connecticut, I have, as many of you know, I am a member of the 169 Town Society. We run a race in all the 169 towns in Connecticut. 69ers love their elusive towns, and they also love supporting fundraising, and they love supporting other runners, and they love supporting runners' big dreams. It is the best group of people in the world. And this is what helped me to fundraise in 2023. Me and one of my friends, she and I teamed up to form Royalty Race Productions. We both were queens at the time. That's the title that you're given when you complete all 169 towns in Connecticut. So we were queens, but we sort of asked the 169ers at the time, what are the towns that you need races in? And the rules of 169 are that the race has to be outside, it has to be at least a mile, and the results have to be published. So the time has to be published somewhere. Those are the three rules. So being that is how 169 works, a lot of people that are fundraising will set up 1 mile races in elusive towns so that the people of 169 can get the town and they can also hit their fundraising goals. So that is what I did in 2023 with Anne. We did 3 races. We did, let's see if I can remember, Feastford and Eastford, Bridgewater, and Warren. Was it Warren? Morris. Fucking Morris. Okay. So we did the 3 of those, and we split the proceeds and fundraised that way. And then I can't remember what else I did. So that is what I recommend, is if you are in Connecticut, doing a race like that is 100% going to help you, because I have that team of 169ers behind me to support. Without that, I mean, I think you could definitely set up races that are very simple. The reason that this works so well is that we choose, as I said, elusive towns. I reach out to the Parks and Rec, or, the people at town hall, and I say, hey, we want to run or host a very small race, a 1 mile race in your town at a track, in a field, in a parking lot. And, I think it's really important to emphasize, like, if there doesn't need to be cops there doesn't need to be porta potties. I strictly say whenever I host a race in the details, there's no porta potty there. So take a shit in the woods or come beforehand or go beforehand. Or go after, both, either one, whatever you want to do. Whenever someone asks me at one of my races, where's the bathroom? I'm like, the beautiful outdoors. That's where I'm going. So it's super low cost. The only thing that we have to really put on a race is insurance. That's the only thing that we need. And usually that's like under $300. So it's really cost effective to do that. Sometimes some of the races, like we have one coming up in Ansonia in a couple weeks, and I had to pay for the rental fee there. We also had to pay for an airport rental for the race that we're having in Bethany. So there might be some like overhead that way, but in some of the towns, it's just zero. So you could do fun runs. I thought about doing this depending on how our races did this year for my fundraising for Tokyo, but doing like a pickle juice chug. My friends Katie and Rick, they did a eggnog jog a couple years ago. So you had to do like a shot of eggnog around the track when you went around. So there's definitely creative ways that you can do this, even if you're not in Connecticut and you have the support of the 169ers. It's a great thing to do. And then another great fundraiser that's always gotten me a significant amount of money is Super Bowl squares. People love doing Super Bowl squares. You can Google it for ways to do that. I have a friend, Angel Ann, and she does the equivalent of Super Bowl squares, but every week. And she doesn't do it for fundraising. I think she just does it for people to win or whatever. But that's a great way to get people to donate as well. I'm also a fan of doing, if I have like a race coming up, like a half marathon, I'll do like a sponsor a mile, sponsor a song. So, you contribute $10, $25, I run a mile for you. You choose a song for my playlist for that race. I do a lot of that. But I think that no matter what you do, you have to just be really okay with putting your shit out there and being okay with no one showing up. There's been sometimes I've done the sponsor a mile and all the miles aren't sponsored. It's okay. It's okay. Especially when you're fundraising, you're going to learn that a lot of people are going to be repeated people, and that sort of sucks for your friends. But I also, the mentality, because I've talked to a lot of runners about this and they're like, I just don't want to be that person. And the way that I see it is you're not asking someone to be that person. You're fundraising for a really good fucking cause. You're fundraising for a charity. I'm fundraising for MS UK. I watch my friend who has MS. I watch other people who have MS. This money is going to a great cause. So I'm not going to apologize for putting my shit out there for someone to help support this goal of mine and also the cause that I'm running for, because it's doing great things. And I know that I can't control what other people do or how they think. If they hate me, again, get off my shit, right? You don't have to be here. And number two is, they're going to support me if they want to support me. And I'm going to trust them to know if they want to or not. And I'm not going to feel badly if they are repeated people. I'm just going to be really super fucking grateful for them, because I know when I donate to causes, which I do try to do because I know how hard it is to do it, I'm wanting to give. I know that when I have friends who are fundraising, we often joke that it's like funneling money back and forth. Like even when I fundraised with Anne, it was so funny when we did Boston in 2023 and fundraised together. Our other friend, Cher Bear, was also fundraising for Boston, just with a different charity. And our wonderful friend, Kate, she put together for us, this was so amazing. She reached out to the three of us because she's friends with all of us. And she's like, I want to help you guys fundraise. What if we do a Twister competition? And what she did was, so it was me, Anne, and Cher Bear. We all went to her house, and beforehand, she had people sponsor. And she said, if you think Melissa's going to win, throw in $25 for Melissa. If you think Anne's going to win, throw $25 in for Melissa. And she had like a whole list of who people donated for and who people thought were going to win. And then we went live one night at her house and we did our Twister competition. I think I want to say Share Bear won. It wasn't me. Maybe it was Anne. I don't know. I can't remember who won, but we raised some money together that way, and it was a really fun thing to do. So we really were grateful for Kate for putting that on. So definitely think outside of the box. Oh, that's another great example. Share Bear that year, oh my God, it just came up in my time hop the other day. She would do challenges. So she would just say, throw me some money and tell me what to do. She was like doing flips on a trampoline in the winter for challenges. I challenged her to make up a song about our family, and she did an amazing job. I might be frozen, but I'm going to still keep talking. She did an amazing job. Okay, so she made a song for our family. I think it was to the tune of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't even remember, but it was so freaking funny and so good. So definitely think outside of the box. So that year in 2023, as I said, I raised $12,000 for Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. And then it wasn't until, oh, there we go. Okay. So anyways, I don't know if you heard about Share Bear's song for me, but she performed a song for our family for a donation. So definitely think outside of the box and be okay with annoying people. That's I think the biggest lesson. Be okay with annoying people. The ones who want to donate will donate, and let people make the decision if they need to make the decision to unfollow you while you're fundraising. But like, come the fuck on. Like, you want to support your friends who are chasing big goals and raising money for great causes. Especially now with so many people losing money in their budgets for things. Like, there's Boston runners raise so much money for those causes, and it's just incredible to be a part of something like that. Especially, participant. I can't. Like, this is so annoying. It's so annoying recording when they're telling me annoying news. Maybe it's fake news though. I'm just gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap this shit up. So fundraising. What? All your indecent exposures, how dare you say that it's going to be really embarrassing if you can hear me singing Taylor Swift down bad. Well, I love fundraising. Fundraising is fun. So I made $12,000. Hi, I'm back. I hope this continues to work. Fundraising 2023 was $12,000. And then I took it on again for London Marathon for MS UK this time. And that was what I did for the London Marathon that ended in April. And also why I decided to continue with Tokyo. So that's why we're doing races. Me and Alexis are doing races for 169. We had our first race, Sharon, was last weekend. And we have 2 other races coming up for the 169ers in Ansonia and Bethany, and then another one in Lyme in January. And along with Super Bowl squares, I think I should be good to go. And then I got into the Berlin Marathon through the lottery. So my fundraising days will be coming to an end, and I'm grateful for a little bit of a break. But again, I am proud as fuck to be fundraising for such great causes. And I'm so grateful to the people who have helped me along in this journey. I am forever grateful to you, because I would not be towing any of these start lines without your help. And we also couldn't have done such good without you. And I'm just super proud of it. And I'm always super proud of fundraising. So if you are considering taking it on, it is a huge commitment. It is a huge undertaking. It is a huge mindset shift that you will have to have if you don't want to have the money coming out of your own account. But just remember the good that you're doing and the money that you're, like, the why, right? It comes down to the why. And so if I ever, I'm like, are people going to be sick of me asking for money for fundraising? Again, I'm going to let them own those feelings. And 2, think of all the ways that it's helping. And I love to hear, like, MS UK does a really great job of being like, this is what your money is going towards. Hole in the Wall Gang Camp did that too. They broke down exactly like what it costs for each kid to go to camp. And so you could say to people, like, this is what your money is helping towards, these tangible things, and to see your money in action, or just to see or hear about how these funds are used, is so inspiring. And then And then you'll never understand it until you're running those races and you see all the shirts of all the charities, of all the money that's being raised and who these people are running for. It is so inspiring. So if you need some inspiration for your own fundraising adventure and you've never experienced it on the race course, go watch a marathon and watch the charity runners. They are running with so much heart and soul. And, I saw the difference. Like, you guys know my story. If maybe you don't, if you're new here, you don't know my story, but 2016, I ran my first Boston Marathon. It was the equivalent of getting a fucking magical gold ticket in a Wonka bar. My brother-in-law said, he worked in Boston at the time. He still does. But he said, someone has a Boston bib. Nobody wants it. Do you want to run Boston? And of course I said, hell yeah. But I will tell you that I have never had stronger imposter syndrome running that marathon because I didn't raise the money and I didn't qualify for Boston. And so while it was a fucking amazing experience, one that I will do 100 times out of 100, I will never feel better that when I did Boston 2017, I didn't raise money for that. I took on raising money for cholangiocarcinoma because I wanted to give back to the community, but it wasn't required. I was like, I have to raise money because I know how it feels to be on that start line, running that race and not having fundraised. So I took on the cholangiocarcinoma and raised money. But again, I didn't have to reach it. There was no requirement. Nobody was coming out of my bank account if I didn't hit it. It wasn't until 2023, towing that start line, having raised $8,500 for kids with cancer to attend a camp when otherwise they wouldn't have been able to. That felt fucking amazing. So it all sort of comes together. And, I don't think I ever would have been as inspired to run the Boston Marathon for that amount of money if I hadn't done it before and seen the charity runners in action. But it's amazing to see. It's amazing in any marathon to see. So get out and see it. Cheer on your friends who are fundraising because it's a huge undertaking. And don't be afraid to take it on yourself because it feels so fucking good to get there. Thank you guys for listening. If this spoke out to you, or if you have any questions, who have friends who have fundraising questions, send this episode their way. Hopefully it helps you guys. And thank you again. I cannot thank you enough for everyone who has supported me along the way. I will be thinking of you every step in Tokyo. Mwah! Love you guys.